firstly, I wanted to do something different, because when you made like 7 albums, 8 albums, whatever, you want to try some new things, and I noticed that the younger bands were doing it, and I was like, it's quite a cool way of releasing music, where people don't have to, you don't just dump an album on them, and also big reason was because we were doing the Inside In celebrations. So we do 15 years of our first album, and I was like, it's kind of cool to like stagger it a bit and have a few new songs out while we're still on tour playing our first album. And then conceptually it's really fun, because we've done a lot with the videos and with the artwork, where it all kind of comes into clarity at the end. So yeah, mainly just like to be creative and have fun. It's been different. I've always been a little bit afraid of synths and going to electronic. But I think, we're at a stage where we have cultivated a Kooks sound, and I was like, we can go there without detracting from what we are. So it's like Kooks DNA. It's like our kind of songwriting, our kind of style. And we've got a lot of guitar solos in there, but I just wanted something much more minimal and a bit more spacey. That whole album is kind of a little bit more prog rock, and I just, again, I'm trying to embrace what's going on, and I was like hearing some really cool music that was kind of had a little bit of 80s and had a little bit of like spacey stuff, and I was like, you know what? Let's try something like that. And I wrote this one song, Connection, with Toby, and it was like we kind of came out with this song that was like kind of almost like a hymn. It's like a church kind of organy synth thing. It's like church in space, And I was like, this is a great sound. And so it's been really fun to do something different. But it still really sounds like us. I discovered when I did the duo album with Elle, I discovered loads about myself, in terms of what I like and what, because I produced the album with Ellie and on our own, and yeah, it definitely gave me a bit more freedom. Broke down a few of the regimentations of the Kooks, because when you have made so many albums, you have this kind of expectant sound, and so it kind of, definitely had an impact in that way. Like, I thought like we can kind of do something a bit more conceptual. Yeah, I think the euphoria of where I was at, I was in it's probably the first album I've made where I started it feeling really good. And I think, I was very content and happy at the beginning of making the album. Like you say, I made a great record with Ellie, and then Julian was like coming, and it was, I was conflicted. The song that I wrote for Juju was kind of about because the world was in such uncertainty and crazy and a lot of horrible things. I was like, I was obviously completely ecstatic he was coming, but I was like, I'm bringing him into this crazy world. What do I say to him? And it's kind of like the song is about, trying to say to the next generation, it's like, it's gonna be all right. Like, don't worry. It seems crazy. It seems like everything, nuclear war is about to happen, but there's great people, euphoria, and new life and new hope. And the whole album is really about hope through all this madness on a personal level. So yeah, Julian was a huge part of it, and you hear the happiness. That's the thing. Doesn't always make for a great record. That's for you to judge. But it's it's there, the joy. I'd say it's just common, use your common sense. I'd say stick to the music, and I'd also probably say don't run too fast. One of the things that happened to me that I wish I could change my mentality on was like after our first album was so successful, you know, I just wanted to run, and I didn't like feel that I like had the space and time to like enjoy that time and make another record. And I think that's what I would say to people is like, just keep your head, keep calm, and keep, you know, don't try and run too fast. But ultimately, you know, it's the job, or if you can call it a job, being a musician, you know, you're almost always going to have very sensitive people or very emotional people in a very chaotic life. So, you know, it's always going to be there where, you know, I'd say it's nothing to put you off doing it. And everyone's got their challenges, but we basically have to just look out for each other just a little bit more, just a little bit more, because we don't want to get bubble wrapped. We don't want to get too much where we're like worried about everyone. And I think age is an issue, but you know, once you're like 17, 18, fuck it, go on tour, great. But maybe before then, maybe this is a personal opinion. I think sometimes when you look at child stars, you're like, that's too young. You know? I'm not saying I would be able to stop my son, but you know, it's pretty proven, tested that it will fuck you up, and I think that is something to be looked at. But yeah, once you're 18, I think it's just keeping your head, basically. I'm very lucky. I had great management. I've had great management who've been like a family. So yeah, but don't get put off. But keep your head. When you get the success, that's not the time to celebrate it. Just enjoy it. Keep your head down. I really like the surrealism. Like, you know, I started really getting into that in my lyrics. You know, like there's a couple of songs on the album, Cold Heart, or like Sailing on a Dream. You know, where I was really slipping into that world. You know, when you have nothing else going on and you're in, you know, you're in four walls. You know, it kind of ticks the imagination over. Yeah. So, and you know, Philip K. Dick. I've read a lot of Philip K. Dick and like Kurt Vonnegut. I mean, Slaughterhouse 5 is kind of the influence for all the videos.
What's up, ballers? This week we have no idea what the is going on with Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut.
You're so naive.
I mean, I've been. There was a time, probably like after Junk of the Heart. So I don't know what year, 2012 or something. I think I surrounded myself with a lot of people that weren't very good for me. Like happens a lot in the music industry. So I felt like, I was being probably a little bit naive, taken advantage of. That was a bit of a low point for me. There's a lot of Tinder swindling out there. Yeah, it's really cool. I think, I'd spent so much time making records in London and Los Angeles. It was quite a welcome break to have a bit of a haven, a different style of work. Berlin's like very laid back. Because I want to do something quite minimal. I think they do that very well, kind of industrial sounds, and so it's quite appealing to me. But I think mainly it's just that it's quite artistic and there's not such a huge commercial music scene in a sense. Even the commercial music scene there is very late. Like it's not all about copying music. I found it very, very inspiring to just be around people that were less hyper and think, you know, and just being in Berlin as a city, the architecture, everything, it kind of comes all as one. You know, you kind of find a little bit of soft toughness, if you know what I mean. Like it's and synth, you know, synth world. When you're going synth, you know, you can. They do it very well there, and I feel like that's again something I was trying to like be drawn to. So for me, it was like a bit of a haven, and to get and I didn't really know many people there as well. So it was really nice to just go work in the studio, you know.